Hey everybody, it's Matt Shu from Upright Health, and today I wanted to share the story of James while it's still fresh in my head. The other day, James and his brother Daniel came all the way from the East Coast to see if I could help them with some problems that they were running into, trying to train their bodies to do more. And so they both came in and managed to help both of them out. And I wanted to share the story of James because it's really illustrative of what is possible if you're really paying attention to your own body and really trying to figure out what's going on in a step-by-step, logical, progressive manner. James had a number of issues going on, but I just wanted to focus on one. I have to give a little bit of background. James has a very rare genetic disorder in which basically the bones don't grow right all over the place. So this is not just a matter of like minor bone misshaped bones. This is actually pretty obvious malformation of bones, missing bones, the growth plates just going haywire and making joints really, really funky and really susceptible to some issues. James has this history, but he still does his best to try to make sure his body works well, which is awesome and very inspiring. Now, the problem I wanted to focus on in this video is that James had a major problem that I've never seen anybody with before, and I told him this, and he agreed to let me share this story. Basically, whenever he did knee extension with his left knee, anytime he went out like that, he would get this tremendous clunk at the knee. So basically the tibia, this shin bone, would basically go, right as he started to extend, it would go boom. And for those of you who train people or people who are in the health field and work with others, you just saw my hand go like this. Meaning as he's extending, he was getting tibial internal rotation. And a lot of it in a big clunk. The whole tibia would go boom whenever he would extend. And it would make some grinding, cracky noises. Now he had been to some PTs and various people who had told him, well, maybe it's your VMO, maybe it's tightness in here or there. And he'd done a lot of VMO work, vastus medialis obliquus, so trying to strengthen up the quad here, and it just wasn't helping him. He had been doing it for, I believe, about a year, and nothing was changing with that knee extension and that goomp, that big clunk in the shin. Again, I had never seen this, and this just seemed really, really, really crazy. And I didn't know what to tell him until he said, well, one thing I've noticed, just in terms of what helps me, is if I lie down on my side and go like this, and I do that knee extension, the clunk doesn't happen at all, just stops completely. And if I lie like this and do the same thing, it actually gets worse. So if he were lying down on his left side doing this, he would make that left knee go goom, 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 way, way, way worse. So what he was wondering was, is this a muscular issue? Is this a bone issue? Because there was this underlying genetic issue with really, really really impacted bones. His prior people had basically said this could be just the joint degeneration happening, or it could be that VMO. And since the VMO thing's not helping, well, what else can he do? So the big thing is, he said when he was lying down on his side, it didn't bother him. When he was lying down facing this side, it would bother him more. So when you're thinking about that, with the way the human body works, if you lie down like this and you start doing this, you actually are getting this whole lateral hamstring to actually help support the leg, meaning you're activating the lateral hamstring here. And then when he goes to do this, he doesn't get that big internal rotation. Now, one of the things that could resist internal rotation in his tibia, at least make it so it doesn't go boom into a huge internal rotation, is actually the lateral hamstring, because the lateral hamstring goes from the bottom of your pelvis, goes down over here to the outer edge of your lower leg. So what would stabilize that would be lateral hamstring, especially if you find when you're lying down like this, suddenly think something is active enough to completely remove the issue. So what we found was by doing things like any sort of resistance to his flexing the knee, so it's some sort of hamstring curl in multiple positions that really focused on getting the lateral hamstrings, that all helped. And it was remarkable to see because as he was doing this set after set, the knee would improve pretty markedly. And that's versus over the course of a year, he saw nothing change. But because he had been paying attention and he noticed, hey, if I go to this position, things don't hurt, they don't clunk. That's a huge cue and a huge clue that something muscular is going on. But nobody from the outside could really be able to tell him that unless he's also paying attention and thinking about all this stuff. I mean, if you've seen a lot of things like this situation, you would know to say, hey, yeah, let's do this or that. But in general, something that complex, something that's so rare, something I've just never seen in any client, really comes down to whether or not he's paying attention, right? If you have something going on with your body, the person who's going to know the most about your situation is going to be you, because you're dealing with your body 24 hours a day. Even when you're asleep, if you have some tweak or something, you're too weak somewhere, you might even feel it. It might wake you up in the middle of the night. So I just wanted to share this story about James because it was really, James is a really great example of somebody who's really proactive about trying to take care of his body. He's got challenges, sure, but he's still working within his limits, trying to figure out what he can do to make things better, even though, he has these different barriers and things that stand, in his way. So this was a really cool experience just to see and see somebody with such a very rare thing, and to see that he could make a huge difference to it just by training his body to use the right muscles in the right way. So hopefully it's kind of inspiring for you. I hope it gives you a little bit of perspective. If you like stories like this, please subscribe to the channel, and please remember that pain sucks. Life shouldn't.